considering that the soul, the active, moving principle of man, and the blood, which is attacked by pork, destroying the blood's power to metabolize sugar and to convey it to the limbs, which results in the destruction of the limbs of patients with diabetes. Soul death is indeed a more appropriate name for this substance rather than soul food or soul life. There are several books written by the late Dr. Rudolf Steiner on the subject of nutrition. rsarchives.org. Do a search. You will find other lectures on nutrition given by him. Health and Nutrition. There's also another book on nutrition I recommend. Health and Illness, also written by Dr. Steiner. The content of this book will also elaborate on the contents of this presentation. The only food that can cause a person to gain weight is fat consumption, animal fat consumption. Fat contained in animal flesh eaten in excess of 1 1/2 ounces per 24-hour period of time. The fat from excess protein is deposited unchanged in the human body. It's cumulative. One will not find obese people who do not consume animal flesh or eat animal meat. Fat from plants will not cause obesity because all plant fat is destroyed in the intestines. This is not true of animal fat. All excess animal fat contained in more than 1 1/2 ounces of animal protein is deposited unchanged directly into the human body. The respiratory and circulatory systems demand it, but not in excess. Mention must be made that some of the people in America require 1 1/2 ounces of animal flesh per 24 hours for good health. A general rule is that if our parents were meat eaters, then the offspring's body will demand a small amount of animal protein for good health, but not to exceed 50 grams, nor 57 grams per day. If the body does not demand it, it is better to abstain completely for good health. Diabetes and coronary heart diseases have one thing in common as to cause: animal flesh or meat. Organized medicine and dentistry, a branch of medicine, must take a common sense approach to these diseases. It is deplorable that the public is not made aware of just how poisonous meat is in the body. This is the purpose of this presentation, to let people know how they can protect themselves. And be aware also that the welfare, the personal welfare of citizens of this country has become a very personal thing. If you are not fortunate enough to be on the inside to understand how our government works, then you are a victim of the outcome. It's not out of malice. It is not out of any hatred or willful intent. It's out of ignorance, and this ignorance must end. The cadaver must not be the end of man's knowledge to the living body. The two cannot be interchangeable. The study of man must be had so that that which produces the physical body, that which condenses the physical body, that which is responsible for life in the human body, that which relates itself to plants, relates itself to animals, must be learned. It must be studied with the same diligence as one would study a cadaver. This is medicine. This is true medicine. This is the medicine Paracelsus taught. This is the medicine Dr. Rudolf Steiner is teaching today. And all of these statistics and all of these prevention of diabetes were put forth before man in the Old Testament and as near as 1919 to 1923. And I hope that this awareness will save lives. I'm Dr. Roy C. Bell. Thank you for listening.